Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be going over some tips for anyone starting out their raid adventure in 2025. This video is going to start out with some sort of generic starter tips that I think some veterans out there may already know. Then I'm going to go over some niche tips that I've picked up from my year of playing raid that maybe other content creators just haven't thought about yet. So let's just get into the video. Now, for anyone out there who is looking to start a new account in raid, I would heavily recommend looking at some of the videos that the bigger content creators have released. These bigger creators are usually given a download link that would give you the best initial start in raid. They come with free champions, sometimes legendaries, free silver, energy when you hit milestones within levels. Now personally, this is the one I would recommend. It's from a content creator called Ash Raid Shadow Legends. If you don't know who this person is, I'm heavily shocked. He is massive, especially compared to me. This is arguably the best account start I've seen. You get a free legendary, you get some epic champions as well. All you've got to do is come to this video, click the download link, and start that way. To me, that will give you the best initial start in the game outside of other bits that you can do yourself. Let's assume that you've either done that or you've just created an account anyway. Next, you'll be faced with your starter champion, which you can see on the screen now. Honestly, there's no real wrong answer. You have champions like Kale, which in my opinion is the best of all the starters. It will give you a big leg up, especially when it comes to clan boss. But realistically, any starter will do. They've all got their merits. They've all got AoE attacks. Just don't pick Galek. For this demonstration, as much as I'm going to show you this brand new account, I'm going to stick with Kale just because I do think he is the best of the starters. Now that you've picked your starter champion, you've gone through the little tutorial at the beginning. It's just going to have you summon your first champion, complete a few missions. What would be the first thing you do when you are introduced into the game? Personally, before you do anything, I would recommend that you complete the Call of the Arbiter missions. Now, to find these, what you're going to do is click these 3 lines on the left. And then you can see it's highlighted here, limited series, Call of the Arbiter. Now, what these are, it's basically like a little 10 episode, maybe 11 with the beginning one, a little mini series. It's like a YouTube video. You watch it, you get some free rewards. I'll show you the first one. We can do it together. But essentially, see here, trailer, just click into it. And for watching the trailer, you're going to get 50,000 silver. Sharing the trailer, you're going to get some arena refills and 100 energy. But the best bit is you don't actually have to watch or do anything. All you got to do is click the link. It'll open it up either on your browser. For me, it's on another monitor. You don't have to press play. You don't have to touch it. And just by clicking that, you can see I can collect the silver. Done. Next, what you're going to want to do is just click share trailer and then click copy. You don't actually have to post that link anywhere. But as you can see, I'm able to claim the resources there. I would personally recommend doing this for all episodes. I mean, I'm going to click through them now and you can see you get energy, gems, XP, silver, brews, a lot of resources just to start out your game. It's brilliant. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just complete all of these now and then I'll cut back when I've done it and just sort of show you everything that I've got. Right, all done. And as you can see, I'm now up to 1,130 energy, a massive amount when you're starting the game. I've also got some silver, which you get when you start out now. You get in limited special offers, you get a daily silver pack that you can get. And as of recording this video, there is a Christmas event on as well. So I've also got some free rewards from that. But you can see my inbox is absolutely stacked with resources and I've only spent a couple minutes in the game itself. Now, before you get into campaign or other areas of the game, I would recommend using some promo codes. You only get to use one a day, but when you are a new player, you get specific codes you can use and they only get to be used once. If you head over to the Hell Hades website, you'll find a page of promo codes. And like I just said, specifically ones for new players, only one can be used. Now, there are a ton of champions here that are great and can again all be used for different reasons. Mordecai, for example, he's a great spider progression champion and brilliant for sort of early game Hydra. Allure, she's great in Fire Knight. She's got a sort of triple hitter A1 that reduces turn meter. There's not really a wrong choice, but there is, in my opinion, a right choice. And my recommendation is Sun Wukong. Not only is he useful in most areas of the game, but he excels in arena, and he's still used today in high level arena. He will be slightly more difficult to book out because he is a legendary, but he is still a worthwhile champion and one that will carry your account for a long time. And to do that, all you've got to do is, again, these 3 little buttons on the left, promo codes, and then just type in the code that you find on Hell Hades. And just like that, you saw, we've got Sun Wukong, free legendary champion, and then some stuff to ascend him. Now, everything I've just done there is what I like to call the before you start section. Essentially, it's everything that I think you should do before you actually get stuck into playing Raid. It's what's going to give you the best start, the best amount of free champions and resources. Now, moving on from that, I think there are two areas of the game that you should start grinding. First is Arbiter missions. You can find these by just clicking missions at the bottom left. Now, why I think Arbiter missions are the best place to start is because it's going to give you a good indicator of roughly sort of what you should be focusing on. For example, you can see these missions start out with clear stage 7 of castle, right? And then equip champions of artifacts, level these artifacts, other missions. You will see these get progressively harder as you move through the game, but speaking from experience, you don't want to ignore these missions because it is very easy to absolutely blow past these, and then when you realize you've got to sort of come back and redo everything again. Like if you get to brutal campaign, you're farming 12 free and you've not touched Arbiter missions, you've got to come all the way back to normal difficulty and start doing the early stages. It's very tedious unless you focus on this straight away, so it's good to sort of get in the habit of keeping an eye on these missions, tracking what you need to do, and get them done as soon as possible. If for no other reason than to just get Arbiter, a brilliant champion in herself. The second area I think you should be focusing on is campaign, specifically to get your starter champion to 6-star as soon as possible. Campaign is where you're going to be spending most of your time, especially in the early game, as you don't have that many champions leveled up fully, but you will want to avoid one massive mistake when leveling your champions. Do not get all of your champions to the same level, and what I mean by that is you can see here Sun Wukong is 5-star, Kale is 3-star, Sniper is 2-star. Before you focus on getting Kale to 6-star, don't get Sniper up and don't get Sun Wukong up. Focus purely on Kale. And the reason everybody will say this, including myself, is one 6-star level 60 champion is stronger than a team of 5-stars level 50s. Having your first 6-star will make dungeons a lot easier and also just speed up how quickly you can progress in the game. Now, I know what you're wondering, why Kale or any starter you've picked as the first 6-star champion? Why not Sun Wukong in this case? He's already 5-star. It's a great question. The only answer I can particularly give is because your starter champion is rare, which means that you are way more likely to get the books you need to book out all of this champion skills. Also, ascending the champion is cheaper, so overall it's a quicker and cheaper experience to get your champion as strong as possible. But ultimately, play the game however you want. There's no incredibly right or wrong answer. My tip would be focus on your starter champion, get them to 6-star 60 as soon as possible. Ignore your other champions for the time being, just focus on him. Make that your sole focus when starting the game. Grind campaign, level up your food champions, get your starter to 6-star. Now, alongside that, you need to be focusing on gems. Gems are widely used in the game, and if you want my opinion on how you should use them, it's quite simple. I would personally ignore the gem shop while you're starting out. You don't need any of this. It's kind of useless unless you've got banks of gems. What I would do is save as much as possible until you unlock 800 gems and use them to buy masteries on your starting champion. It's going to be a lot quicker than having to grind Minotaur, especially early game when you can't effectively grind stage 15. Again, it just cements how strong you can make your champion. Now, I'm not going to go over what masteries are, simply because I don't really know enough about it, but it's just sort of little perks you can give your character in a way. And after you've saved up your 800 gems, you've brought masteries for your starter champion, I would save up again, and then personally, I unlock the gem mine, and then I would focus on maxing it out. If you're actively playing, especially daily playing, this will be a very worthwhile investment, especially early on. And then finally, you've got a bunch of gems saved up, focus on Guardian Ring. Okay, I've swapped over to my main account, mainly because I don't have Guardian Ring unlocked on the one I was just showing you, because I built that account purely for this video. But the Guardian Ring is a great way to sort of level up food champions whilst you're AFK. These sort of just get free XP when you log in next. Just click the buttons, level them up. It's just a great source of grinding. So I would mainly just focus on getting all of these leveled up. Once you've done those 3 aspects, there's nothing else you need to spend gems on, in my opinion. You can see I've got a big stockpile up here, 9,200. And that's mainly because I just don't have any need or use to spend them yet. The main thing I'm going to be using them for is these full energy refills. And that's only really if I don't have enough energy as it is to sort of focus on the event. Being able to just quickly buy some energy refills, it's worthwhile. Outside of that, the only other thing I would personally use it on, and it's a terrible idea, is these big shard packs. If I'm low and there's a guaranteed event on that I can afford to go for, I will. Early game, ignore all of that. I would focus on your masteries, your gem mine. As you can see, mine is maxed on my main account, and Guardian Ring, again, maxed on my main account. Another thing I recommend as soon as you possibly can is to join an active clan, active being the key word there. This is the only way in the entire game that you're going to be able to fight the clan boss, which is going to be your best way of getting daily resources in raid. Now, probably a bad time to show this. Our clan boss has just reset. We're still fighting it, but you want to be looking for a clan that is around the same level, if not attacking the same things in the game that you are. Because if you down the clan boss, you get double the rewards. So early game, you want a clan that's fighting easy, normal, and killing them. Personally, when I started, clan boss was my biggest focus. I'd watched tons of videos and everyone was saying the clan boss is what's going to give you your best rewards. They come daily, because obviously you can fight the clan boss daily. So outside of grinding characters to 60, I focused on a clan boss team, and it's one of the areas I personally recommend really going for. It's another reason why Kale is a great start, because poisons are a fantastic damage source. My recommendation, find an active clan, like-minded people who are grinding for the same goal, and stick with them. And that is everything that I would consider generic start advice. Some of that you've probably heard in other content creators' videos, but now I'm going to go over some few tips that I would recommend from my own experience in the game that I don't want to say content creators forget about, but being that they are so end game, it's easy to brush past. And this is going to start with shards. I don't think you need to pull shards early game, unless it's needed for an event you're going for, like a champion chase, for example. The early game does a great job of giving you a bunch of champions early on, especially if you follow the steps that I've said. You used a download code, you used a promo code, and it's going to take you a very long time to get all of these champions to sort of 6-star, fully booked, with masteries. The last thing you're going to want to do is start blowing through all of your shards as soon as you get them, and then have a massive backlog of champions that you just still can't level. I made the exact same mistake when I started, and if I show you now, you can see in my vault I have got loads of level 50 champions that are waiting to be 6-starred. I just don't have enough time to grind that much to get all of these 6-star. It could be said that, yeah, but you may pull a champion that is arguably going to be better. Early game, it doesn't matter. Right, you've got your starter, get that to 6-star. If you use the Monkey King code, you've got a legendary, get him to 6-star. You do not need to be pulling shards. Just focus on what you've got in your account and what you can grind for easily. Next, it's going to be Tag Team Arena. Now, personally, I can't stand Arena in the game, any form of it. However, in Tag Team Arena, you get the Bazaar, and essentially it's just a shot. Whenever you win a tag team fight, you get this gold at the top. As you can see, I've got 51k, and you can use that gold to unlock stuff in the store. So you see, I use this weekly for energy, shards, and tomes that I just sort of save up for when I need them. But early game, you can get fragments for Drexstar, a legendary champion, and also for some rare champions that you can use to fuse Broadmoor. And the reason I say you should focus on this as soon as you can is you are restricted by the amount of these you can buy any given time. So as you can see, I've got to wait 3 more days before I buy a shard again. Drexstar, I think you can only buy 1 shard a day, and I believe it's the same for the 2 rares. I can't confirm that. I've bought all of these. It's long gone in my account, but you can only buy 1 a day, and it takes you 100 days to get Drexstar, for example. So a little over 3 months. So the second you unlock it, I would highly recommend getting in there, grinding out as much tag team as you can, and focus on getting those champions as early as possible. They would make a great difference to your account. Next tip's going to be a sort of 2-parter, mainly because they've got the same functions, but I'm going to start with potion keeps. Now, when you're starting out, all of the potion keeps are open for what I believe is the first week. These dungeons are used to get potions that you can ascend your champions with. This gives you increased stats. For some champions, it will upgrade their skills, and other champions, it will unlock new skills. Once that first week is up, all of these, as you can see on my screen, they go into a rotation, which means I have to now wait for every Sunday if I want to farm Void Keep potions. Get in there as early as you can, start grinding as much as you can, and have a stockpile for the champions that you're going to be focusing on. So for your starter, Magic Keep. If you went Monkey King, Spirit Keep, just get as much as you can. And that kind of brings me on to Faction Wars. Same sort of thing. As you can see on my screen currently, these are all closed apart from the ones that are open today. When you start out, the Faction War crypt for your starting champion is open every day for the week. Now, if you picked Kale like I did, it would be Dark Elves. If you picked Galek, which you shouldn't be, it's Orc. These are the only way in the game to get glyphs, which are used to upgrade your gear. It will give you obviously better stats, more speed, for example. Highly recommend it. You should be doing these daily anyway if you've got the champions to do it, as you should be focusing on your starter champion and getting them to 6-star as quickly as possible. Make sure you focus on this daily and grind it out. Get a stockpile of as many glyphs of as high a rarity and star as you can. This next tip may sound a bit stupid, but it's something I don't hear a lot of content creators talk about, and that's your daily quests. It's a good source of XP. It gives you an energy refill when you complete the arena ones, and every day you complete a daily, it gets you closer to doing all of your weekly challenges, which gives you a ancient shard, which also gets you closer to your monthly challenges, which gets you a void and a sacred shard. They're super easy to do. It's not that long at all, to be honest, especially if you get in a rhythm of it. Largely, it's the same quests every day as well. I think the only one that changes is the win campaign battles. Sometimes it might be campaign boss 3 times, other times it's campaign battle 7 times. Super easy to do. It's just pay attention, get them done, don't forget about them. Next tip is books. Again, may sound like a little bit of a stupid one, especially if you do know something about the game, but there are 4 different rarities of books. You got mythical, legendary, epic, and rare. Now, annoyingly, as you can see there, it allows you to upgrade skills of this rarity and lower. Meaning, if I've got a rare champion that needs leveling up, I can use any of the books, especially the mythical ones, which are incredibly hard to come by. Please do not do this. You should only be using the rarity books on that champion. So if I want to upgrade a rare champion, I will only be using rare books. Do not feed rare champions epic or legendary or mythical books. When it comes to uncommon champions, just get a version of the uncommon again. They're super easy to come by. A lot of these are farmable. You will come across them often. So as you can see, if I want to upgrade this Armiger's skills, I can put in the other Armiger. Just do that. Just use a copy of the champion, free book it out, but please do not use higher rarity books on lower rarity champions. Next tip is going to be who to build next. Now, this is a point that I honestly believe is very difficult to answer. There are generic ones, especially when you're starting out in the game. There's some great farmable champions like War Maiden. Obviously, you've got your starter champion, you've got your legendary champions you get straight away. But I personally believe who you should build next is heavily dependent on what areas of the game you are trying to push. For example, if you're trying to progress in Spider specifically, that is definitely going to change who I might recommend depending on the roster you've got. So my best advice, if you're looking for help or advice on who to build next, jump into some Discord servers. You've got the Raid official one, and then most content creators have their own Discord. Jump in there, talk to the people that have more experience, more knowledge about the game. Simply share a picture of your roster. Let them know what area of the game you're trying to push. So I would share this screen, for example. It's got all of the champions that are level 50 that I'm looking to build. I would say, hey, I'm struggling for a Spider team. Who here do you see that I could build up to help me with Spider? And then people will be able to come in, give you advice, tips. It's, in my opinion, one of the best ways to learn and pick the next 6-star champion. Honestly, there is no real wrong answer. You can level up any champion. They will help you somewhere in the game. All it's going to mean is you may not necessarily progress as quickly as you could. When I played, I didn't care about that. I played for fun. I just picked who I really wanted. It was only when I got to sort of 6 months plus in that I was like, okay, I'm really struggling to beat Spider here. Let me build a Spider specific champion. But just have fun, level up who you want, experiment with different champions. If you like a champion that you got, just level them up to 6-star. There's no real wrong reason to do it. If you're playing for as efficiency and you want that champion for that reason, like I said, reach out into some Discords. Next tip is going to be referral. If you're lucky enough to have friends to help, fantastic. Otherwise, if you can be bothered, I would strongly recommend creating minimum 3 referral accounts and going for this free champion. As you can see, I have made all 6 of mine so far. I'm a bit lazy with it, but I've gotten the free epic champion and I'm working towards the free legendary champion. Along the way, you do also get a bunch of free rewards. If you get all 3 of your first accounts to 50, you get 4 sacred shards for doing it. But all you need to do is create 3 accounts using a referral link you get for yourself and get all accounts to 10. That takes no time at all. And honestly, I think this is an underrated character. I think she's got a great kit. It can be very helpful early on. And at the end of the day, it's a full team reviver, which is hard to come by, especially early game. And it's a free champion. And it's only an epic, so it's easier to book out than most legendaries. And if you can be bothered, I would recommend going for the legendary. These two have great synergy in their kits together. Cronum himself, he has a lot of areas of use. Ironically, Spider, which was obviously something I was just talking to, I would recommend doing it. It's free. You could do it yourself if you've got friends. Brilliant. All you've got to do is log in, do some dailies, log out. Eventually you'll get there. Right, everybody, that wraps up my starter tips for 2025 in Raid. If you have any questions about everything that I've spoken about today, please leave a comment. I will get back to you. Or if you have any other advice that you feel is important, maybe something that I've missed, leave that in the comments too. I want this video to help as many people as possible, so any of your useful comments are brilliant. I hope this has helped you get the best possible start in Raid. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.